What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I've got another video for you. This time, we're talking about MARINCESS. Now, listen, I realize that MARINCESS is by no means already a lock for the next legendary duelist, even though it is water-based and there's not a lot of options I think Konami can go with, and I think this is literally the best deck they could choose to throw in there. It's not a lock. There's no guarantees there, but I still want to talk about this deck. I've talked about it before, but today I want to talk about if they got support, what exactly I would want to see from that. And I think it'll just be fun that, like, if we make this video, we do get MARINCESS selected, and then to see like how Konami goes about doing it relative to like what I think the deck really needs to see. So that'll just be a fun idea, and plus we can have a discussion in the comments. So please let me know down below what you think MARINCESS needs, what you would want to see to help the deck out. I don't want the deck to be broken, but I don't think the deck needs much to be like literally tier 2, like Salamangreat level. And we'll talk about that today. So real quick, just running through the monsters and like what's important in the deck, everything pretty much that's important in the deck. You have Blue Tang, you have Seahorse, you have Pascalis, and you have Mandarin. These are the only relevant monsters in the main deck. Blue Tang is incredible. It's like literally the best card in the main deck, pretty much. Seahorse is your best extender, still a solid 1-card combo. These are the 2 1-card combos. Pascalis is a nice extender. It does really hurt to get Impermed or Veilored on it, but it is a really nice extender, especially because it's level 4, and it can recur you a spell or trap on your next turn, which is really nice. And then Mandarin, it's the most mediocre extender you have. The problem with it is they made it that it can only like extend you if it has exactly 2, if you have like at least 2 MARINCESS monsters on field, which is really tough because it means like just putting 1 MARINCESS on the field doesn't help you extend this. You need to be able to like really play for this card to already be live. So it's not great, but it combined with literally any of the other ones is actually a decent little, like, you know, 2-card combo, which is doable. So yeah, it's fine. I'd kind of like a better extender though. Then for the rest of the main deck stuff, 1 Battle Ocean. This is the only spell card that's in the deck. And then MARINCESS Wave. There's actually 4 MARINCESS traps, but all 3 of the other ones are complete and utter garbage. Throw them away. This one's actually pretty good though. It's impermanence. That also can make all your monsters unaffected by card effects till the end of the turn. And if you control a link 3 or higher MARINCESS, you can actually activate this from the hand. So really nice card. And I wish we had more of stuff like this. So that is it for the main deck. Real quick, just giving a quick summarization for anybody who's not up to date on where MARINCESS is right now. For the extra deck, you've got triple MARINCESS Blue Slug, 1 Sea Angel, Crystal Heart, Coral Anemone. I have more, I just don't have them right here. Marbled Rock, Bubble Reef, and Wonder Heart. So that's it for your extra deck lineup. As far as what these do, this on summon adds back any MARINCESS monster from grave to hand. Really nice, just cool +1. And it's 1500 for a link 1. That's like crazy. Sea Angel could be busted here. When it's made, it can add any MARINCESS spell from deck to hand. Any spell in the entire deck to hand. Unfortunately, like I said, we only have the field spell right now, and the field spell is not even good. It's literally a brick, by the way. It gives you the ability to make like a towers. If you make a MARINCESS link using Crystal Heart as material, but that's literally it. And it's a really weak towers because all your opponent has to do is have like spell and trap removal, and they beat the towers. Speaking of which, Crystal Heart literally does nothing. You should all you should know about it is if you use it as material while Battle Ocean's on the field to make another link, that monster can become a towers. Cool. Coral Anemone is the best card in the extract, probably in the deck actually. It can revive any 1500 attack or lower water from grave, and when it leaves the field, it lets you add back any MARINCESS card as well. This card is so strong. Marbled Rock pretty much just says once per turn, add a MARINCESS card back from grave. Really good. And then you have these 2. Wonder Heart's mainly the one you're like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even like Wonder Heart. Once they made Bubble Reef, I was like, why would I ever make Wonder Heart now? Bubble Reef on every standby phase can banish a water from grave to draw a card, which is actually kind of nice. If you play like a decent amount of hand traps in your deck, you could draw into live hand traps, which is pretty cool, on your opponent's standby phase. So I actually quite like it, but usually you're just making these 2 with the Battle Ocean and Crystal Heart to make them the towers. They'll become really big, be annoying to out, and especially Bubble Reef gets you extra draws as well. So extra advantage or just extra disruption even with hand traps. So that is everything you need to know really about the cards we have right now. As far as what I would like to see and problems with the deck. One, the biggest problem by far and away for me is that the deck has no way to even gain access to any of its disruption. Really all its disruption is wave. The only disruption the deck can really make is if you open Pascalis plus like Blue Tang, you can make a Bahamut Toad play while doing your normal Marincess stuff. It's pretty decent actually, but that's really it. And that's the only like just via your engine disruption you're really getting to. Other than that, you just have to get lucky off of Blue Tang's effect, which she has like a Foxy effect when she's used as material for a water monster. So she like looks at the top 3 cards. You find a Marincess card, add to hand. But right now we only have 1 good trap, so you kind of got to get really lucky there to find the trap. So long story short, first and foremost, we need a card that helps us get to disruption. And here is what I propose. I propose a spell card, normal spell that is very, very simple. All it says is hard once per turn, send, when this card is activated, you can send 1 Marincess card from deck to graveyard. That is it. Very simple, very clean, very cookie cutter dry, but also very flexible with what the deck wants to do because 1, you can send stuff like Seahorse or Mandarin to be extenders if you need to send a monster. That totally works. Or you also have stuff like Wave, and that's the other big one is like, we do have Battle Ocean, I doubt you'd send that very often, but Wave particularly is the other big one, right? Because you can send Wave, and like I said, between Coral and Enemy and Marbled Rock, you have 2 free any Marincess card, add it back from grave to hand while you play. This, like, and I'll be honest, like, the new spell card could be like a Rhoda. It could just say add a Marincess card from deck to hand, but I don't think they give us something that clean and crazy there. But I think because the deck just has so much free recursion anyway, you make such efficient plays, you might as well just give the deck a Foolish Burial. At least it makes you burn it on something, but it's a more impactful something you're adding back. You're not just adding back follow-up and just have a hand of Marincess monsters going to your opponent's turn. You're actually able to like dump a Wave and add Wave back for disruption, ways to slow your opponent down, because that's what the deck really doesn't have the ability to do via its own engine. So that would be the first card I would propose. But I think the deck needs 2 cards, neither of which are broken. I don't think an in-archetype Foolish Burial is broken by any means. I think it's solid and it's great for what the deck wants to accomplish, but not broken. The other thing I would want to see is another trap card. Technically, they could also make this a quick play spell if they want to make it a little better, like we saying with the spell card. Like, obviously, they can make it a Rhoda, and obviously that'd be even better. But like, I think for what Marincess do, it's just a little more fair if they just made a Foolish Burial. So what I'd like to see for the trap card is one of 2 things. I love the mechanic that Wave has, so I'd love to see it maintain that mechanic, but I either want it to be like some kind of quick removal or like a counter trap. But I want that same stipulation that Wave has, where like if you control a link 3 or higher, you can activate it from hand. That would be so cool. You know, once you make a link 3, mainly like either a counter trap can activate from hand. Obviously an Omni Negate would be great, but even if it just like negates monsters particularly, like that is more than enough. But honestly, I'd almost rather just see like a quick removal card, whether it's target a monster on the field, bounce it, target a card on the field, bounce it or destroy it or whatever. That would be great. And maybe the bonus effect could be like you banish it instead if you meet a certain qualification with it, enough Marincess monsters on field, a high enough link rated Marincess monster on field, whatever. That would be really, really, really nice because 1, it gives you 3 more copies potentially of a card that's really like solid disruption that you can find off of Blue Tang, but also it's another card that like if we opened Wave or we'd still be able to go through like the new spell card to be able to dump the other and be able to like, kind of like how Salamangrates are, if they open one, they use Gazelle to send the other and they end up setting up both on turn 1. Really, really strong play for them. I'd want that same possibility for this deck as well. Also, Marincess don't have access to like any removal whatsoever, so I'd love to see some form of removal for them to be able to like clear things off the field. So long story short, those are the two cards I'd want to see more than anything. But keep in mind, if they end up getting picked, they're probably going to get 7 cards. That's what they've been doing. That's what the formula has been for Konami, with the 3 legendary duelist character like picks per set now. And so those are the things I'd like to see, to be honest. Like I said before, Mandarin is fine, but like right now we play her at 3 because like she's a name. Her plus any of the MARINCESS is the 2-card combo. I'd love to see a better extender. I'd love to see some kind of MARINCESS card that maybe says like, if it's in grave, you control a MARINCESS, just summon it from grave. But, well, maybe even that's not, I don't know. Maybe from grave or hand. Like literally just make it that, but like make it a level 4, because then that gives us much easier access to being able to get into like the Bahamut Toad place. You could potentially end on like a MARINCESS trap plus a totally awesome. And I think that would be pretty good that way. So I'd love to see a slightly better extender, and if it is an extender, I want it to be level 4. I think that would really help a lot of things. But you know, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry if we don't. I don't think it's the most important thing. And the one other thing I would say that I would like to see is some sort of removal. Ideally, something in the form of an extra deck monster, but honestly, it could be anywhere. If they want to give us another spell, that's removal. Like maybe it's just simple. If you control a MARINCESS card, like target 1 card on the field and destroy it. That could be targeting destruction. It could be slow, not even a quick play spell, but just some kind of removal that the deck can actually get to pretty easily, because the deck literally has no removal whatsoever. So playing into boards is like really annoying because you have no tools to dismantle things. So whether they want to give us a link 2, 3, or 4 that has removal, obviously depending on the link rating, maybe elevate the level of removal effect that it is and how powerful it is. Or like an in main deck like spell card that's like pretty easy to get because of like Sea Angel. That would work as well. A trap that removes would help, but I still think I'd like to see one more removal-esque effect, because that's more disruption. If I want something a little faster that I can just use like earlier on, you know, then I that's not really going to help us as much. So that's what I think. I think like the 2 cards I mentioned at first, I think like those are the bare minimum, something to that effect. Obviously it doesn't have to be those exact things, but another disruptive card and a card that helps us get access to our spells and traps, some way to like pretty consistently search our way into our spells and traps would be really, really nice. And then as far as the other stuff, I'd like to see those addressed a little bit in some way. If we're going to have 5 other cards going into the archetype, some sort of boost in the ability for the deck to break boards, ideally in the form of removal, and also some help extender wise, maybe just one slightly better extender. If we're going to get new cards anyway, I'd like to see something like Power Creep Mandarin, to be honest. Like Mandarin should be like a 1 of maybe, right? Like, I don't think it should be anything more than a 1 of ideally if we're going to get 7 more cards of support. But obviously, we will see. I just wanted to throw this video at you guys, giving you my overall thoughts on MARINCESS. It's pretty cut and dry. I think it's pretty simple what the deck needs, but as long as they give us that bare minimum, something that accomplishes what those 2 cards I mentioned would accomplish, I think the rest of the cards don't even really matter that much. They're just icing on the cake. So hopefully everything goes really right here. I mean, I don't know, it's Konami. They can always come out of left field here. This is still a relatively newer archetype, so we don't know if Konami would even consider them for a legendary duelist. But I think other than the fact that they're fairly new, being a Vrain's deck, other than that, they're like the best option they could put in here. It's waifu. It has waifu capabilities, which will bring in more money. It's a deck a lot of people like, but you know, it wasn't there for them. So, you know, that'd be really nice to bring them up to speed. And I don't know. I just think it's like literally the best deck they can throw into this legendary duelist. Hopefully they do it, and hopefully they give us the kind of support the deck needs to be able to be played. Because I really think with just those 2 cards, this deck is like as good as Salamangrates. I really do. So hopefully that ends up being the case, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the video, though, let me know in the comment section what you want to see exactly. If you think you want to see something a little bit different from what I mentioned here in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I love topics like these like theoretical videos. If we were on the Konami like team, R&D team, like figuring out what kind of support would work here best. Definitely let me know down there. And yeah, that's going to do it for me here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not yet and you want to see more stuff like this in the future. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.